Regarding Iran, um, what are your big unanswered questions as we sit here and talk here on Tuesday morning? What are your big unanswered questions about what happened? We'll get to what happened next. But what are your big unanswered questions about what happened?
Yeah, Mark, I feel like the biggest thing on my mind right now is what changed President Trump's mind. I'm not sure I have a clear answer to that right now, and I really do want to know more in
Yeah.
terms of what made him decide to strike Iran, right? He has been pushing back on Israel for months now, telling them not to do this. He went from that posture to, okay, they did it successfully, it was a good strike, praising what Bibi Netanyahu did until to actually like engaging in the war over the weekend and sending those B-2s. So I want to know what changed. I've heard a couple of things. One is that um, CIA Director John Ratcliffe learned something recently. Not sure exactly what it is. I haven't actually heard speculation on what it is. But we can sort of guess that it has to do with some sort of proof that the Iranians are close to weaponizing, uranium, not just, enriching it and having massive amounts of it, but actually weaponizing it. But obviously, Tulsi Gabbard has been saying, she testified in the spring, that the U.S. assessment is that Iran, while they are enriching uranium at, record amounts, that they were not actually trying to weaponize it, and that the U.S. assessment says they're not doing that. What changed? Okay, something changed. I have heard people who are critical of what Donald Trump is doing right now, I mean, MAGA sorts, suggest that maybe this was some intelligence from Israel that came over and that Ratcliffe presented it to the president and that changed his mind. I want to know more because his posture on this has changed significantly in the past few weeks. And I just feel like that story hasn't been fully fleshed out.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I also think, I mentioned this earlier in the show, I think there's something in the conversations he and Netanyahu have had over the last months. I think Netanyahu, who understands politics, American politics, as well as any American president, I think he had some way of coaxing Trump into this. Not tricking him, but basically just leading him to the decision based on providing intelligence and pointing out the opportunity that Iran has never been this weak and may grow strong again, and striking them when they're weak makes more sense. In terms of
Yeah.
what, go ahead.
I was just going to say, jumping in on that, in terms of, Bibi trying to coax Donald Trump into doing this, the thing that has really stuck out to me is the two sides of Donald Trump in all this, right? On the one side, he's always been, critical of the neocons, et cetera. I'm America first. We're not going to engage in foreign wars, et cetera, new wars. And on the other side, you have a Donald Trump who loves to be the strong man and to sort of stick it to anyone who is, dragging their feet on a peace deal or something like that, which Iran was doing, just showing muscle. And clearly, Bibi was able to convince him to take that posture. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's okay. I'm glad to hear what you just said. Even a lame duck president, historically, if they have a big military victory, their poll numbers go up and they have more sway on Capitol Hill. Do you anticipate either or both of those things happening now?
Well, I think a lot of it, well, here's the thing. I actually think that Trump is going to get this bill, this big, beautiful bill passed, regardless of what happens in the Middle East. I think right now, obviously, his focus is on what's happening with Israel and Iran. But when the moment comes and they need him to strong arm lawmakers, he's going to do it and he's going to be successful. Now, whether that happens before, July 4th or after it, I'm not exactly sure, but he's going to get it done. In terms of, though, other things he might want to do in terms of political capital that he may or may not have from this moment, there was a really interesting tweet from Amy Walters from the Cook Political Report. She pointed out that after President Obama, approved the assassination of Osama bin Laden and was successful there, the president at the time did receive this sort of bump in his job approval rating. People very much loved that, obviously.
Yeah.
But then within a few months, he was back down because of concerns about the economy. So, Trump might, if this ceasefire holds, receive some sort of boost. The question is, how long does that last, right? We have these tariff deadlines coming around the corner. The stock market is going to react if all of a sudden we see these tariffs go skyrocketing because there's no tariff agreements. That could change prices and inflation. And so eventually it all comes back to people's bottom line here in the United States and how they feel the president is doing on the economy. So we'll see how long Trump can sort of ride this wave if the ceasefire is successful.